Welcome to Security 101. It's that time of week again. This week we're going to look at passwords and password strengths and do's and don'ts about passwords, things to keep you safe on the network or on the internet as well. So first of all, I want to say passwords are very important. I see so many people not use passwords, and especially on their mobile phones, and we're going to talk about mobile phones and passwords here in a little bit, but passwords are very, very important. The other thing I want to say is password uniqueness is very important. So many people have one password that they use for everything. They use it for their bank, they use it for their games, anywhere they go online, they use it for Facebook, all these different places they go online, they use one password. It's not recommended that you do that. However, if you are doing that, it's much more important that you make the password something that's difficult to guess. The technology today can break passwords very, very quickly. And many times if somebody's trying to break your password, they've already done some research on you. They know where you live, what street you live on. They probably know your kids' names, your birth dates, things like that. And they're going to throw this into what's called a rainbow table. And they're going to run this program or get your password, which, because of the information they have about you, they're going to pick that password out. They may even know your dog's name. So general rule of thumb is no names, no kids' birth dates, not your birth date, not anniversary date, no phone numbers, no street names, no addresses, anything that's common to you. It needs to be something creative and unique. And I know it's hard. I'm not a very creative person when it comes to things like that. I have some things that I've done that I kind of figured out in my head, like the first letter of a song name or something like that, like pick a song you liked growing up and take the first letter of your word in it and then add some numbers and special characters in front of it. Anything like that. Develop a pattern that you can kind of remember. So the one other thing I mentioned was everybody uses the same password, and that's definitely not recommended. But everybody goes, oh, what? I can't remember all the passwords. How do I know what I used here? All that. There are easy ways to do that. And actually there's some programs, and I'm not going to recommend a program. I'll tell you that I use LastPass. There's 1Password. There's a couple other ones out there as well. And what they do is they'll even generate this really long password that, can't be guessed, and you could never remember it yourself. But by using the software on your browser and in your phone, when you go to those sites, it just fills it in for you. You access that using 1Password or something called you can use a YubiKey or something like that, which is basically a push button fob, and you stick it in your computer. You don't have to use a YubiKey or anything like that. You can just use that 1Password. But when you go to use it, it knows all these unique passwords. The problem is passwords, when you use them like I said, they're like one key. So if you use 1Password, it's like having a key for your car, your house, your locker, your parents' house. All these different keys would be like having one key, and you want to make that strong. So if somebody would get your Facebook password, they could get into your email, they could get into your bank. You don't want that. You want unique passwords. So it's very easy to manage it with other password managers. So password strength, always recommend like 8 characters or more. Like I said, no names, all the don'ts I already said. Try to mix it up a little bit. Use some numbers, uppercase, lowercase characters, special characters like @, pound sign, exclamation. You can take if you have a word in your password, change like an I to an exclamation point or something similar like that, or to a 1. Mix it up a little bit. You kind of get the idea as far as making it a little stronger. So the other thing I mentioned coming in here is I've seen some people who don't use passwords on mobile devices. And that's a very bad idea. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. First of all, say you forget your phone somewhere. And if it's not locked, somebody can pick it up and go through all your contacts. If you have been to a web page recently that you already logged into, they can go right into your web page and get your information out of it as well. And it won't auto-protect itself. Where if you just put a simple 4-digit password on it, if they log in too many times incorrectly, it's going to wipe your phone or lock your phone, and they won't get your data as easy. So always recommend even at least a simple password on your mobile devices, whether it be a phone or an iPad or some kind of, something like that. Always put a password on it. It's the best way to protect the device. So I hope you get the idea of how important a password is. Passwords are super important, and they're becoming more and more important all the time. Especially with as new technology comes out, they now have computers that are designed just for password cracking and can crack just about any password in short periods of time, even long, complicated ones. So if they really want in, they're going to find their way in. So that's why I definitely don't use something that has a name in it or something that's easily guessable about you, kids' names, like I said, dog name, whatever. Because if somebody really wants into your account, they're going to do that research on you. They're going to know your kids' names already. They're going to know your kids' birthdays, all that stuff. So it's best not to do that because they're already going to be looking for something with that in it as well. So that's it for passwords. I hope I've gotten it in there that it's very important because passwords are very, very important. Next week, we're going to talk about drive-by download sites. We mentioned that in our very first episode. Been a few questions about it now, like what is it? What do you mean by drive-by? It's not like you're driving a car by, but we'll explain it in more detail next week and try to keep it in the non-technical realm, which is our goal for the Security 101 show. So that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.